Thank you all very much. UNC family. I'm so happy to be here with you in Shogunas. But before I move on, let's give it up from right here in Shogunas for this Flaming Word Ministry and their beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rendition. So wonderful to inspire and lift us up in these very despairing times. And to the powerful speakers who came before me, MP Anna Ram, MP Dr. Rishi is somewhere with us, MP Rambali, MP Vandana. Give them all a round of applause. And to all our candidates who will take Shogunas Borough in a one full sweep. Give it up for the candidates. And I will tell you here in Shogunas tonight, you are not alone. Because all the way from Sandy Grande, code is yellow. Coming down the corridor to Napuna, code is yellow. Coming down, further down into Sama Lavanti, the code is yellow. When you leave Sawa, you're going into Port of Spain, code yellow. And so it is along that entire corridor. When you come down Central, never mind, this is not COVID. It's just I'm talking too much these days as we campaign. So all along, yes, I'm having some good water, thank you. All along the corridor, down into Central here in Shogunas, going down into San Fernando, you would have seen a massive campaign happening in San Fernando. We will take the city of San Fernando. Moving along into Princestown, down into Pinal Debe. And you know you're really rich when you reach Superior. Superior gone clear. So thank you for your welcome. I shall welcome our beautiful family and friends. This is your UNC for unity. This is your UNC for unity. You remember that? It's no accident. UNC has always meant unity. We know this. Tonight we stand together in our unity and accommodation with the NTA, Mr. Gary Griffith. Give it up to Mr. Griffith. And Mr. Warner has joined us. I say united, we stand. Together we can bring back security and safety and love to Trinidad and Tobago. Tomorrow is Emancipation Day. Our UNC family wishes our African brothers and sisters a warm and love-filled Emancipation Day. We also say welcome to His Majesty, the Ashanti King, who is visiting Trinidad and Tobago. Let's say welcome to him. Welcome to His Royal Majesty. And you may see the image, there he is on our screens as we welcome him to this beautiful land of Trinidad and Tobago. With our African brothers and sisters, we share the same glue of love that holds together. You remember when I talked to you a few weeks ago, the shattered vase. When you bring it back together, we hold it together. We share that same love. And you know, yesterday I went to a very wonderful Emancipation Day celebration. Yes, Bellman was there. It was in Moruga. And hosted by MP Michelle Benjamin. And it was absolutely wonderful. And Dr. Esther Cruikshank was there. And she's from Shogunas. Give her a round of applause. And she spoke and she was saying, talking about we all one people, regardless of race, religion, creed, whether you're red, you're white, Miss Harry, black, blue, green, we are one people. And when she was saying it, I said, you know what? She talked about if you see a brother fall down and the doctor comes and you need blood, you have to give him blood. Will you watch and say, hey, you don't look like me, I don't want your blood? No, 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 no. And the thought came to me, and I want to remind you, it is the same red blood that flows in our veins. It's the same red blood that flows in our veins. So whether you're red, whether you're white, whether you're Dogla like Anil, whether you're blue, whether you're green, it's the same red blood. We are all, there's no race. There's only one race, and all we can see, we are all children of God. So let us remember that as we celebrate the Emancipation Day, and as we talk about the freedom, but we have to remember there are so many more battles to fight to bring true freedom to our land. We have to fight the despair. We have to fight the grief, the fear, the pain that has gripped our land. And those fights remain in front of us. Are you ready for that battle? Are you ready to battle for a great land, for a country? Because if you don't do it, they will not do it. They had 8 years in government, and the country is at a total collapse. People are saying, some are saying, Trinidad is beginning to go down the slope. Trinidad is beginning this and beginning that. There is no beginning. It has already happened. We're going through under this government. Going through. Remember this. Trinidad and Tobago wins when we are united. No fair-minded person throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago is opposed to unity. Not one. Everyone wants unity. And that's what we've been doing even from the beginning of time. Everyone from the beginning of time knows that unity is peace, unity is safety, unity is prosperity. On the other hand, disunity is loss, destitution, and burdens. So I want to remind you, many of us here read the Bible every day. Some of us read it sometimes, but every one of us prays every day. In whatever form we pray. So I want to quote to you a verse, some verses taken out of the Holy Book. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 to 6, 1 to 8. And you know it, and if you know it, you can say it with me. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up what is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to throw away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to seek, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to throw away. Now is the time to throw away this government, wipe them off the face of the map. There is a time to tear, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time to win, and a time for war, and a time for peace. And what do we say now? Now is the time for unity and peace. This is the only way we can stop toting burdens. When we come together on August 14, we vote next to the rising sun. We have to stop toting the burdens inflicted on us by this government and vote. Come out and vote. So you all know, what is this time for then? The scripture tells us there's a time for everything, which I quoted for you. And now is the time for change. Now is the time for change. Now is the time for change. So my friends, we must stop toting the burdens of this government. And you are desperately wanting to stop toting all the burdens this government is putting upon us. Many of you are toting burdens inflicted by this dictator government. In almost 3,000 days under them is burden upon burden upon burden on your back. You all know what I'm saying is true. Where is your raise in salary? Lost. Where's your chance of promotion? Lost. Where's your child's laptop? Lost. Where's your life of freedom? Lost. Where's your foreign exchange? Lost. Every single thing you can call yours has been lost under this dictator-led government. Everything. Ms. Johns, Deputy Leader Senator John, spoke powerfully to us tonight and shared with us some of the burdens that we are all experiencing. And now we come to tell you there is always hope. Hundreds of thousands of friends, family, even political opponents have embraced don't vote, just vote. Don't vote! Don't vote. In our party, service to people are our watchwords. You have heard me say 1,000 times, serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. This is not strange to anyone. The ethos of the UNC service. We have always demanded of our members and your councillors to ask citizens about how they're doing. And under this government, when we ask, it's hundreds of thousands of the same response over and over again. Pain, loss, burden. PNM, loss and burden. Even some of the supporters of our opponents, they are also feeling the burdens and the pain and the loss. And this is a truth. We all know the things we are burdened with in our lives. The people will never again carry the burden of the dictator. They will never again tote. They will vote. I know it, I see it, I can smell it, I can taste it, I can feel it. They will vote. They will vote. Don't vote, just vote. Don't vote, just vote. And everyone in our land identifies the UNC as the only party who stands for the poor and working class. These are the people who have to tote the heaviest burdens from this dictator government. While Farris and family toting $250 million in cash money for rent, the poor and working class are toting their murdered relatives' coffins to their graves. While their government financiers are toting big plates of lobster they hired, the poor and working class are toting smaller and smaller and smaller bags of groceries from the supermarket. While these ministers and their children have 24-hour police protection, the children, your children, the poor and the working class are toting the burden of fear and despair. The children, the poor and the working class do not matter to a dictatorial government. This government does not care that your children are being beaten in schools, murdered in the streets. They do not care that food prices and school book prices are higher and higher each day. School is going to be opening very soon again. Parents have been calling us as MPs and councillors asking for help for school supplies. They don't know about that. They tote in big bags of food and groceries and lobsters, as I said, and big bags of money. Your taxpayers' money, know it. The children, this government does not care that they do not have what they need to go to school. This dictator, supported by some in the business community, you know, they fought down the $500 baby grant for single mothers that I had given. They fought it down because to them, $500 is nothing. But a single mother with her baby and with her children, $500 is plenty money. Plenty money. All the money these people make, all the money they make off the state, off your tax dollars, and they didn't want poor single mothers to get the $500 for the baby grant to buy milk for their children. Shameful and evil. Look at that picture. Look at the picture. People voted to take milk from that helpless, innocent baby. They voted for that, but never again. Trinidad and Tobago is waking up. So can you believe a beautiful land like ours, beautiful people in our land, that they voted some years ago to take milk out of mouths of innocent babies, of poor mothers. But they said nothing when the dictator bought $3 million in paintings. Said nothing, $3 million in paintings because his daughter liked the paintings. But you voted against the baby grant for an innocent young child. They said nothing when the dictator built a $70 million palace in Tobago with full security. Said nothing. But when I gave that baby grant, everybody swell up. They vex. Poor people must get nothing. Only the big boys must benefit. That's what they felt. Those who support the Rowley government, they have no issue with $200 million in rent for Faris family. $3 billion in financing contracts for the family of Smallpin. And they find $500 for milk. Imagine that. For a child was too much. They find laptops for poor children unbearable. I will always stand up for the poor and their children. These poor babies are all my babies. They're all my children. These poor children are my children. They are your children. They are your children. And then the dictator goes down to Palaseco. And when questioned about the poor roads in Trinidad and Tobago, I'm sure, he said, look, that wasn't a priority. The roads was not a priority. For him, it was not a priority because their priorities were different. What's your priority then? If roads was not your priority, laptops for children is not your priority, what are your priorities? The $20 million house in Tobago, the rentals and recusals, the Farrison family, those are your priorities. When you say the roads in the country, not your priority. I say, wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. Whoever is generous to the poor tends to the Lord and will repay him for his good deeds. Wake up. Our country is being repaid with evil because this government did evil to the poor and working class. This country is suffering because of punishment for leaving babies' bellies to burn with hunger. That's why we are suffering so much. I saw babies' faces twist with pain from hunger. That is why I try to ensure at least they would have this baby grant to get the milk. Tonight again, I repeat, wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. Crime is out of control because the greedy and selfish oppress the poor and working class and middle class. Wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. See the red blood all over the place. They were red and ready, and now it's dead and bloody. That is all we're seeing in this land. Red and ready is now dead and bloody. Dead and bloody. Wake up and see that this government does not have an anti-crime plan. This government doesn't know how to fix our problems. They just let things fester and fester. And speaking of that issue, there's another issue that I would like to raise tonight. As part of the UNC local government campaign, we have committed to securing citizens' mental health. The proliferation of noise pollution emanating from fetes, for bars, clubs, is an intolerable scourge on the mental health of citizens. The system for licensing these noisemakers these noise-making events, is riddled with corruption and collusion between party organizers, the people having the feds, establishment owners, and some corrupt police officers. I was even told that some of these noise polluters who are seeking license, they actually lie and tell objectors that they have the support of the MP and the councillor. Neither myself or any UNC MP and councillor will ever support the granting of license to make noise pollution. There are many reports made to MPs and councillors daily from constituents. The TTPS, some are ignoring the complaints of noise from bars and feds. Police officers, some are accepting bribes in the form of cash and free services from bar owners to help them in getting license. Police officers, some refusing to inform residents of the dates of hearings for renewal of license. Some police officers actually giving witness statements to the court in support of granting license in spite of complaints from residents. Some senior officers are intimidating decent police prosecutors into disregarding citizens' complaints and allowing license to be granted without objection. Police officers, some, they own bars too, and manipulate the system to avoid accountability for noise pollution. So that whole system, I'm sure Dinesh will say more about those things, has to be revamped. I call on all citizens who are affected by the corrupt granting of these licenses, and if you have information on corrupt officers and license applicants, contact your MPs and your councillors to make complaints so that we can follow up on your behalf on those complaints. So now I say, and you know, we've been sharing with you our plans to deal with crime, because crime is the #1 issue in Trinidad and Tobago at this time. I've told you, if you're dead, whether the road have pothole or don't have pothole, doesn't help you. If you're dead and you don't get a laptop, who cares? If you're dead, there's nothing you can deal with, but you have to be alive and stay alive. So we are fully into the fight against crime. I've outlined our plans before, and I want to say clearly tonight, because sometimes I see armchair politicians writing in some media houses. They say, oh, no plan. They have no plan. Every night we are telling you about our plans. I want to make it clear the UNC has a plan to deal with crime. We have a plan. We clearly have a plan. You can see our plans on the ticker tape on the screen. We will implement the anchor braces. We passed that law. We passed the law that the people out on bail and so on, that you will wear the anchor braces. What has happened to the anchor braces? What has happened to the pepper spray? We passed that law too. What has happened with the pepper spray? Maybe one of their friends, they're waiting for them to set up a company to import the pepper spray. I don't know. They say we don't support anti-crime legislation. You hear lie? That is the biggest lie. We supported the anchor braces. We brought the anchor braces. We supported the pepper spray law. We supported so many other pieces of law. I mentioned some of them last time. So we will ensure that the police has the resources that they need. And we will make sure that we have a competent national security minister. We'll ensure that our borders are guarded. You know, they complain about the damning vessels that we bought. The damning boats and ships that we bought to guard our borders. And they have them park up down in Strawberries Bay. Where's Damien? Strawberries Bay. They have them park up. They would not get them working. They will not get fuel. And then you complain about guns illegally coming into the country. They will do nothing. Nothing. We will ensure our borders are guarded. We'll hire over 1,400 new municipal police officers in the boroughs, each of the corporations locally. We will use the municipal police in the local government corporations to secure our children at their schools, primary and secondary, at schools, use the local municipal police. Those who want gated communities, the local councillors, the local corporations, they have the power, they have the authority, they have the jurisdiction in law that if you want your community gated to lock out people that you don't want, you can get it done through your regional corporation. So it's not only the West you have gated communities now. Once you want that, we could work with you, the local councils will work with you, because that is to prevent unwanted invaders coming into your areas where you're living. Block them out. What you're doing here, what you come here for, who you come to see, why you come to see. They just can't drive in and invade your home. We will gate your communities. We will ensure your streets are illuminated at night. We will bring back the community comfort patrols. Bring back the community comfort patrols. Why did it disband the community comfort patrol? Why? We will provide educational opportunities for law enforcement officials to make them better and more equipped to tackle crime. We will restructure the Ministry of National Security to make that ministry work for you and for all of us. We will have the stand your ground laws so you can defend yourselves when the criminals invade your homes. We will ensure law-abiding citizens have access to legal gun ownership. When the criminals invade your home, you can draw your licensed firearm and light them up. Empty the whole clip. Empty it. Light them up. Reload. We have to fight fire with fire. Look at the front page of the Express today. Look at this article from the Trinidad Express, front page today. Woman kills home invader. Woman kills home invader with her husband's licensed firearm. And the next headline, double murder in Carenage. Double murder. Double murder is almost every day. Here it is. This is why more law-abiding citizens must be given legal firearms. This is why we must have stand your ground laws. So this woman will not be charged. Imagine this mother seeing these criminals coming into her home, breaking into, rob and rape her and her children. And now she can be charged because she was defending herself. The PNM is against you defending yourself and your family. I want you to look at the screen, and this is what the PNM is saying. Are we getting there?
So when they come and they talk, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, what? Ms. Prasad says, so you stand your ground and understand that the PNM controls the majority in the parliament. And as long as we are here, we will not support stand your ground. We will not support stand your ground. We will not support stand your ground. So when they come and they talk, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, stand your ground, what? Ms. Prasad says, so you stand your ground and understand that the PNM controls the majority in the parliament. And as long as we are here, we will not support stand your ground. We will not support stand your ground. We will not support stand your ground.
As long as the PNM is there, they will not support stand your ground. Listen well, you know. They will not support you to defend yourself and your family, defend your wife, defend your child, your daughter. They will not support you to help yourself to defend your home. Listen well. That is the official policy of the PNM. And if you want me stand ground, we will stand our ground. We will stand our ground. Stand our ground. Stand our ground. All you have to do is come August 14th, yes, and vote them out. August 14th, vote out those wicked, incompetent people. You have to vote them out so that UNC can give you that power to defend yourself and your family. I quote you again from the Holy Book, from Exodus 22:2. I quoted it before, but it's important we understand it when we are talking about stand your ground. This is it straight from the Holy Scripture. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck and killed in the process, the person who killed the thief is not guilty of murder. Let's hear it again. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking into a house and is struck and killed in the process, the person who killed the thief is not guilty of murder. Not guilty. Not guilty. If the Holy Book tells this to us, the Holy Book tells us to stand your ground and defend your family, who is a PNM to tell you to do otherwise? I always tell you, those whom God bless, let no man curse. Those whom the Lord blesses, let no man curse. We will deal with crime. The UNC will secure Trinidad and Tobago. The criminals will never be in control, and you and your children will once again be safe and secure. So what is at stake in this election? What is at stake in this election? When you go to the polls on August 14th, I want you to remember what exactly is at stake. You are not simply voting for a counselor. You are voting for your future and the future of your children. You are voting to protect your loved ones. I want you to look at the faces of your loved ones. Your wife, your husband, your children, your mother, father, brother or sister. Look at their faces. I want you to look at the faces of the people you love and remember what it is that you're voting for. You're voting for your loved ones, their future, their security, their safety, and their happiness. You are not happy when you have to turn your house into a prison to be safe, and they're still coming for you in your home while you're sleeping to rob and kill and rape. The terrifying fear that you feel in your chest when you hear a noise outside your home at night is destroying your mental health. Every little noise that you hear now, you're terrified. What kind of life is that to be living? Why are people in Trinidad and Tobago waking up every day to survive and not live in peace? The election, this election, I ask you, put the physical security, financial security, and mental security of your loved ones first. You repeat with me, don't tote, just vote. Don't tote, just vote. Send this government a message to change course. By sending them a message, they may change course and give you legal firearms to protect yourself. By sending them a message, they may change course and support stand your ground legislation so you can defend your families. By sending them a message, you're telling this government that you and your family's security are important, and he must fire Hines now. He must fire Hines now. Now. When we send a message to the government, we are telling them we are fed up with our children or grandchildren being bullied and beaten at school. When we send a message, we are saying we are fed up of being beaten, robbed, and raped. They're telling me I have extra time. Shall I take it? Thank you all very much. So the very people that this government continues to ignore, continues to oppress, these people whom the government have forgotten, whom they have left behind, and whom they just do not care about. They're you, and you must send that message for security and safety in our land. Imagine that you don't have to worry. That you don't have to worry about your child being bullied and beaten whenever you drop them off at school. because we will use the municipal police, as I said before, at the schools. Imagine the peace of mind seeing the flashing lights of the community comfort patrols whilst you're in your bedroom and you're sleeping or half awake. Imagine knowing that a car passing at night is one of your neighbors and not a criminal because your community is now gated. Imagine knowing the mental health and stability and comfort your family will have, or being able to draw a licensed firearm in case of home invasion. A vote for the UNC can give you peace of mind and secure your mental health. Some of these things we can do through the local government forum, and some we will achieve through central government. But I tell you, as surely as day follows night, when we win this local government election, the next step is to win the general election as we march on to victory. Young people are suffering. Look at the lines. The other day I was driving to Grande for a meeting, and traffic and traffic and traffic in the night. And it was because so many people lined up to try to get a job that the prisons had vacancies. Prison officers, lining up. So many people came out lining up in the rain to apply. And I'm told that they come out from midnight the night before and line up there to get interviewed and don't get the interview until that the next day, midday and after lunch. Some time ago, you remember, a cruise ship had advertised vacancies and thousands of people turned out to apply. What does this tell you? People, young people in particular, are unemployed, looking for work. They are unable to find sustainable jobs under this government. So many thousands have lost jobs since this government came into power. Young people are unable to afford a home. So many are struggling to survive and not be a burden to their families, but they can't afford the mortgage payments. I tell you, we will bring back Land for the Landless program. We had worked so hard on that program, it's gone extinct. We will bring back Land for the Landless and focus on young people. Deputy Leader John told you about the program we had, just to give, in effect, gave the HDC homes to those who had been there for so long for $1. Because we believe everyone has a right to own a home. Everyone has a right to own a home. You know, I feel this very much. I know it. Because when I was growing up as a child, we and my other 5 brothers and sisters and our parents, we'd be moving from house to house to house, renting. House to house we would move. Never stay too long in one place, which was a great thing in a way, because that meant we lived in so many different places. Could not afford a home. And you know what made the difference in my life? And will make the difference in your life and in that of your children is education. Education. I've always spoken about the value and importance of education and home ownership, and they being the passport out of poverty. Under this government, so many of our youth are being driven into poverty. Education is a bad word to this government. They refuse to open new schools that were completed or almost complete. You know them in your own districts. Khadija knows it, Daniel up in St. Joseph, they wouldn't open schools. Down in Debe, that Ramaitre Sindhu, they will not complete. It was all over the country. We left schools that were just on the verge of completion, and some already completed, and they would not open them. And what has happened? Vandals have vandalized those schools. So that we have to go to open them, we have to go and spend so much more money. They left these schools to become dilapidated and vandalized. They took away laptops from our children. They took away free textbooks for students. They cut school feeding. They cut scholarships. And what we saw is that its SEA results and other test scores have fallen. Thousands of children dropped out of the school system. Many students, parents, and teachers The support systems were terminated. They have attacked the denominational schools. What's wrong with them? Those schools are doing so well. If it's not broken, why try to fix it? What are you interfering with the Concordat? Didn't knows about it. The Mahasabha, famous their lawyer. The Presbyterians have another young lawyer. They're going to court. What you want to interfere with the Concordat for? Anglican schools, Presbyterian schools, Hindu schools, Asher schools, Muslim. Why you want to go into those schools when they are doing the best in the country? Why? Why do you want to tell us? Tell us. I say, they have attacked the denominational schools. They have neglected academic achievement and excellence. They have decimated the TechVoc program. They refuse to open an entire university campus down in South in Bay. So short-sighted, they think it's for the people of South and not for anyone else. So short-sighted. What we did when we built that campus, it was to ease up the pressure in St. Augustine so more students could get a university education, more and more and more of our young people. What one campus could hold, the next one could hold double the amount, so more young people would have the chance for university education. What's wrong with you? What problems you all have with people getting an education? And we know why. They want to keep you down. They want to keep you oppressed. They want to keep you depressed. That's what it is. I say we in UNC will secure the future of our young people. The only young people now living their best life in our country is the not so young Stuart Young and that whole family. So let's speak about the Youngs and their favorite finance company, NCB Global, a little bit. Tonight, I have this to share with you a few nights now, and I didn't. So tonight we're going at NCB Global because I'll leave that for Anil and other persons, okay? Let's talk about NCB Global. I am not casting any aspersions on any of the companies I'm going to talk about tonight. I am calling for clarity from government regarding what is being published in the media. Something seems to be very wrong at NCB Finance Group. On April 28, 2019, Minister of Finance issued a license under the Foreign Investment Act to NCB Global Holdings Limited for them to buy 62% ownership in Guardian Holdings Limited, a Trinidadian public company. Stay with me and you'll see where this is going. It's going straight outside of your pocket. On Tuesday, 14th May 2019, it was reported that NCB Global Holdings had successfully completed its takeover of Guardian Holdings Limited with a total shareholding of 62%. On March 9, 2020, I questioned 8 financing transactions for state entities worth almost $3 billion that NCB Global Finance under Angus Young, I think that's the picture there, under Angus Young, has somehow won in the last 4 years under the PNM. These deals were also questioned by finance industry leaders. Michael Leachin is chairman of NCB Global Finance and serves as director on the boards of NCB and GHL, the regional financial services company headquartered in Westmoreland. Michael Leachin has liquidated billions worth of assets in the past 2 years, including millions of shares in his NCB Global Finance. In March 2023, this year, NCB Global Holdings, the Trinidad-based subsidiary of NCBFG, was in the local market looking to raise US $30 million in senior secured and dual tranche fixed rate notes. And notes are secured by TT Dollar Security, is the name of GHL. In January, Another NCBFG subsidiary, NCB Capital Markets Barbados, was looking to raise US $25 million. On May 25, 2023, Michael Leachin indicated he was taking a leave of absence effective immediately. But on July 18, 2023, Leachin announced that he was cutting his 3-month leave of absence short. On July 19, Trinidad Express reports NCBFG's president and group CEO, Patrick Hilton, and his group chief financial officer and deputy chief executive officer, Dennis Cohen, both proceeded on leave for 3 weeks, which then turned into permanent leave. They're gone, they're just gone. These two men put out statements denying any financial impropriety on their part at NCBFG. Patrick Hilton is chairman of GHL. Dennis Cohen and Michael Leachin are the board members of GHL. We have heard nothing publicly from GHL regarding these men. I want you to put up the photos. These 3 men on the board of directors. The NCBFG share price has declined by about 70%. I want you to stay with me. This is coming right out of your pocket. It may belong to you, but it is coming and going to reach right into your pocket to empty your pocket. The NCBFG share price declined about 70% between the end of the company's 2019 financial year and last Friday. NCBFG shareholders have received no dividend payment since May 2021. A number of the bonds that NCB Global raised for the PNM were actually financed by our local banks. Some of the borrowings were secured in the name of Guardian Holdings Limited. Clearly, the very frightening news of Mr. Leachin's recent financial maneuvers are cause for concern. This seriously makes the public worried about the financial health of both NCB Global and Guardian Holdings Limited. Tens of thousands of our citizens hold portfolios in Guardian Holdings Limited, and our banks and financial institutions have exposure due to the investment in NCB Global. Now I'm calling on the central bank governor. I am calling on Minister of Finance. I'm calling on Angus Young. I'm calling on Stuart Young. I'm calling on Mr. Rowley. I'm calling on the boards of Guardian Holdings Limited and NCB Global to come out and guarantee the people of Trinidad and Tobago that their financial portfolios are safe. Are our policies safe? Are our policies and investments safe? I'm calling them to tell us, does the potential failure of NCB Finance Group pose a systemic risk to our financial sector? Did this government invest monies from our HSF into NCB Financial Group? It is curious that the $6 billion loss of the HSF has coincided with NCB Financial Group's turmoil. Friends, tonight I say you, what is the status of Patrick Hilton as chairman of GHL, Dennis Cohen, Michael Leachin as board members of GHL? There can be a cascading failure within our financial system due to the numerous interconnecting linkages amongst NCB Financial Group, GHL, local banks, and financial institutions within our country. I wonder if you remember what happened when Clico failed. Do you all remember what happened? We had a massive failure of Clico. And all the insurance policies, all the investments people had made. We cannot sit idly by and let another Clico happen. We cannot sit by and just watch this thing happen and the whole economy crashes. I am calling for clarity and guarantees from the governor of the central bank, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance. Is this NCB Global chaos another Clico meltdown happening before our very eyes? We must not allow another Clico meltdown to happen. We want answers and guarantees. I assure you, if another Clico occurs, this will destroy the future of our young people. They already cannot get jobs. So as I close, I want you to keep that in mind, and let's call for the answers, because that will bring tremendous systemic risk in our economy and in our financial institutions and in all those pension schemes and funds that people invest their money in. We understand that times are hard. We're here to protect you against financial devastation. We are here to protect you against another CLICO. We are not here to talk about increasing taxes to pay for the incompetence of this government. We understand times are hard, and now is not like the time to ask you to pay more for less. We see banks declaring billions in profits. We see Ferris, Stewart, and Rohan grow richer and richer. We hear the central bank saying poverty in TNT is at 20%, while the working class disappears into paycheck to paycheck. And then no real savings or investment opportunities. Tonight I ask you to remember, when you go to vote on the 14th, you will be voting to vote them out. You'll be voting for a councillor, but you'll be voting for the future and the children's future in Trinidad and Tobago. As we ask our candidates to come on stage to join us here tonight, let us remember we are UNC and we are UNC and we are proud. We are UNC and we are proud. Don't vote, just vote. Don't vote. Don't vote. God bless you and get home safe.